hard enough to figure out what I'm doing, let alone keep track of all the stupid YouTube stuff.
You're
gonna need a paper. We're gonna divide this paper up into 7. Yeah. No. I'm going to show you how to divide this up both sides into 7 in a creative way. If you want to be boring, go ahead and try and fold it into 7 columns, but I'm going to show you my way.
Is your way fun?
Maybe I should have red.
You cannot see that.
Flag marker. Why are you so far away, Tyler? Okay, so here's my pitch. I'm going to tell you about the grammar of art. You already know somewhat, you know 4 of the rules, but there are 2 sections of the grammar. One section is the elements, and then I want you to flip it over and label the other section the principles. So just right at the top, elements on one side. I'm doing it horizontal, by the way. It's not a big deal. Elements on one side, flip it over, principles on the other. And these are the building blocks of art. We talked last year in grade 9 about value, color, space, and we might have gotten to movement. My intention is to try and make this as painless and efficient and simple as possible. But you could literally talk about value for a week. You could talk about color and do a whole semester just on color, okay? Like you can go crazy on this stuff. But here's my simple way of explaining it. All art is made up of 7 elements. Put a dot here. Put a dot here. Principle. Thank you. Principle. Put a dot here, put a dot here, put a dot here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Something like that. Make 7 sections.
I want to do columns.
The elements are like pieces of Lego, right? There are 7 elements in almost all art. And if you look at Picasso or you look at Leonardo or you look at your own art, it's going to have some level of all 7. It's kind of like the Lego pieces. When we're talking about the principles are the way of using the elements. So for example, if you've got a whole bunch of Lego and you got the little 2-piece one and you got the square one of 4 pieces and you got the long, like there's all different shapes. You can take those pieces and you can make, let's say, a dog, or you can make a house, or you can take those same pieces apart and make a motorbike or the Death Star. You have the Death Star? You don't, your brother does. And the Millennium Falcon. Okay. Cool story. Let's keep going. Rotate your page. How are we going to put color over there?
This is going even.
Oh, honey.
It's art. It's art, so it's fine if it's a little bit of a mess. The reason why I'm doing it this way, you're going to take notes on all 7 elements and all 7 principles over the next little while. In fact, not all 7, just the ones we're doing this year. But we got to review the ones we did last year. What are, and for the sake of being able to read my writing, I am going to write this horizontally. But I would suggest you actually just spin it around as you're doing it because it's more fun. All right, color. What are some of the vocabulary terms that we learned about color last year? Shoot me. Analogous. Capitalize it, please. Yes, well, you do it however you want. We're taking the point form. Analogous. What's another term?
Tertiary.
Oh my goodness.
How did you remember that?
Not on paper.
Capitalize it. What was that from home, Kyla? Good. Thank you. Secondary. You got the list. Someone's looking at it. There's a few more things. Warm and cool. Yeah, sorry, say it again. Tint and shade. Did we talk about that? Was that in this or was it in space? In this? Atmospheric perspective. I think there might be one more, but we'll leave it there. Atmospheric perspective. So the deal here is I want you to know and use these terms. It's kind of like the grammar. It's the language, the vocabulary of this class. So if you go to science class or you go to, I don't know, remember tech ed, and it's like, go get the vice grip, and you come back with a hammer, and it's like, this is not working. You need to know and use this vocabulary. You will have to use it in some of our art talks and on like your final assessment and stuff. So if you don't know what those words are, I will help individuals figure it out because you did do this last year. Let's do one more. I'm not writing anything else besides this for now. If you don't know them, we will fill in the gaps. Let's go to value. Over here. Well, you divide the page into 7, however you want. 7 elements. And eventually we'll get to the principles on the other side. Okay, so we talked about value last year, and that's not money. What is value? In any art piece, yes, digging for the notes from last year.
What am I looking for?
Value. Yeah.
Focal point.
Good. Good.
Value passage.
So low value is dark, high value is light. Where there's lots of contrast, especially the brightest bright and the darkest dark, you'll often get an interest area or like a focal point where your eyes really want to tend to go. Sometimes even more powerfully, you can use a value passage to get eyes to go there. Oh, and we missed graded values. Did you say that? I'm sorry. For the viewers at home, they didn't get that. What? I can't hear you. You feel loved? Okay. Value and color. These are all things you can Google. They're things that I want you to feel more and more comfortable talking about. Instead of saying, yeah, so like the dark thingy, and then it goes kind of like smears into the light thingy. I would rather you say, you can see these graded values, because that's the same thing, instead of using thingy 1,000 times. All right, so value and color. Next time you guys are going to be watching this, I'll include space, and then we're going to flip it over and do movement, and that'll catch us up to what we're doing in grade 10, which is we're going to talk about shape and rhythm and pattern and some of that stuff. Super important to understand these things because when you're doing abstract art, your lines and your shapes and your colors all become symbolic. They all have way more meaning. Okay, and that junk.